Hello again, this is Professor Burns for video part B. This is my forecast for the years 2020 through 2032. And let us move on with the basics. How is the economy going to evolve for the years 2020 and 2021? According to some United Nations instruments or affiliated organizations, such as the World Bank, the World Trade Organization, and so on, we anticipate India to be a rapidly growing economy, so they're going to keep up. They're going to have a fast pace for the next couple of years. So India will be followed by China in terms of the trade growth. Of course, the US, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Russia, and other countries are going to keep up with a growth that is less than 3.5%. However, the economic scenery in 2020 is going to be very interesting for a number of reasons. Now, according to the World Trade Organization and other institutions, the global trade volume is going to remain pretty flat from 2020 through approximately 2024. And you can see the big picture in this diagram here. However, in my opinion, I am more optimistic when it comes to the volume of trade, simply because the global population is growing exponentially. In the next 15 or even 10 years, we will see rapid growth in the population. And this is inevitably going to drive the trade volume at higher levels as well. An area which I consider problematic is the actual trade value. In other words, I believe will be, as you know, the transportation industry will be carrying commodities, many more commodities in the years to come. However, the value of these commodities is not going to grow exponentially together, or in a comparison with the volume. The volume will grow much more compared to the value. And what is the root cause of that? I believe that the way globalization has evolved, and as we have seen over the past few years, there is such cutthroat competition between countries, between industries, and we are driving the prices of our commodities lower to be competitive. So this could be the root cause for a 2020 economic crisis. Another paradox or area of interest for the next years would be is demonstrated in the Pareto diagram, which you can see here. So the Pareto diagram or the principle is telling us that in business, in trade, or in many other things in life, we always have the significant few, 20%, and the insignificant many, the 80%. If this is a list of countries, we know that the significant few are not only the traditional growing economies or the developed economies, such as the US, China, India, and so on, but many of these significant few countries consist of rapidly developing economies, which until recently were considered as underdeveloped or less developed. So this is telling us that in the years to come, in the next business cycles, market cycles, economic cycles, some of the drivers, some of the key players will be these rapidly developing economies. Now, let us make a speculation for the year 2020. Of course, it is a principle at a global level to never hear really, really bad news close to the new year. So by late December or early January, you never hear tragic news or nothing really, really alarming. However, I believe that by mid or late January 2020, some of the negotiations, some of the trade agreements, some of the goals that we set back in 2019 will not be established, will not be materialized. And this is going to be an era of bitter realizations. So from mid-January until approximately mid-March, these 2 months in particular, January and March, will signify a lot of developments. Again, this will be at a geopolitical level, so conflict between countries. Let me give an example. Saudi Arabia, Iran. This is one of the cases. Or perhaps the price of oil is going to go much higher, but of course you have the winners and losers of this arrangement. So January through March are going to be exciting months full of developments. Then in the summer, July, August, I believe that we are going to have some interesting developments in the political scenery. Mind you, or please remember, this is approximately 6 months before the American elections. So this is going to be a very exciting period. Remember that negotiations take place both in the political scenery and at a trade level. And I also see that right after the American elections in December, we will have the culmination of all these decisions at an economic and trade level. Now, you might have a question for me like, does it really make a huge difference who the American president, which American president is going to be elected or re-elected? The answer is not simply yes or no. We understand that America is a country of significance, it's a global leader. Therefore, whoever the new president will be will definitely play a significant role because of these diplomatic routes, the new negotiations, and so on. However, on the other hand of the same coin, it doesn't really matter who the new president will be because you still have many other countries, many other global players which are going to play distinct part in this new economy. So let us recap a little bit. January through March 2020 is going to be the first eye of the storm. Late 2020 to early 2021, I believe there's going to be a crisis, volatile market, power struggles, because the global scenery is going to be ready, regardless of who the US president will be, to just move on. And whoever is going to be elected or re-elected will definitely have to negotiate, and some of the challenges that we have experienced will just have to be addressed. Now, the bursting of the bubble, I believe that 2020 is going to be such a year. So we're going to take off our pink glasses and we'll have to face the geopolitical and socioeconomic turmoil. So think of the banking system in Germany, Italy. So the Eurozone is going to be influenced. Brexit is not going to play a huge role in the future of the Eurozone because there are some mechanisms that are not working anyway. So Brexit is going to be a part of the challenge, but other economic factors, the banking system, are still going to play the role. So the Eurozone is going to have a challenging 2020. Globalization versus protectionism or introversion. So we'll have to decide as a country, but also as a global community, which works best. Is it globalization or do we have to be more introvert? This is for individual political systems to decide. The oil price will go up in 2020, and because of that, the American economy is going to be protected within the year 2020. So we'll be watching the news about this economy collapsing, another economy collapsing within 2020. The American economy is still going to be holding strong within the next year, exactly because we are strong in oil, gas, our technologies, many other different industries. So we are protected in this way. We're going to have to make some decisions. What is more important, the energy price, or is it the efficiency, or is it the environment? And one thing I would like to mention about the years to come, in America in particular, we observe that environmental items within the political agenda are heavily, let's say, affiliated with one political party, not the other. But in the years to come, we'll see that the environment is going to be everybody's business. So that is something important to keep in mind. We'll have to face reality. We'll have to address the 2008 crisis issues that were never resolved. So we see this huge debt of governments, of corporations. And we will see that on many occasions, governments could go bankrupt. We've seen this in many countries in the world, different continents. So governments could go bankrupt, but corporations could become much more influential compared to governments. So we'll definitely have to address the 2008 crisis challenges, the currency war, some geopolitical challenges, the banking challenges, and much more. 2021, I chose this icon here because we'll have to learn from our mistakes. We'll have to become more proactive as a global industry, as a global community. And this will definitely signify the new era. So perhaps by 2020, we will see the bubble bursting, but we will feel those repercussions in 2021. Polarization is a lose-lose deal. To be honest, I dread the high likelihood that a lot of countries, including the US, will become highly polarized from 2021 onward. That is not going to serve us as a nation in the long term. So this is something that I see, but I don't look forward to. There's going to be a new geopolitical map. There's going to be new trade routes based on the new alliances that will be formed in the 2020 year onward. And here is my larger picture. Let me present my third video just to talk about the big picture. Stay tuned.